everyone. I am delighted to be here with Virginia Huerta, who is the Managing Director of Archetype Spain, a Marcoms consultancy. Virginia started her career at the tender age of 20, having studied public relations and advertising at Complutense University in Madrid. She was an intern at Omnicom, and then she joined Tex 100 when there were just three of us, Solange Cummings and myself. Virginia went on to become the managing director at the tender age of 29 and is now responsible for communications consultancy for Facebook, Vodafone, Instagram, and Alibaba. She combines this with being a mother to two girls, 12 years and 9 years old. And she's recently been nominated as one of the top 100 women leaders in Spain. So welcome, Virginia. That's an amazing, amazing career. Thanks for agreeing to join me today. What are you most proud of?
Well, thanks for inviting me first, and it sounds so nice when I listen to you, all the intro. It's unbelievable, all the things I've done in all these years. And what do I feel more proud of? There are many things I feel proud of, to be honest, at personal and professional life. But if I have to choose one, I would say my team. And I know it sounds, like, well, what everybody would say, but it's so true. I mean, I've always been surrounded by really good people, always very kind, always very supportive, always very encouraging to do new things that you thought, that you couldn't do. And that's really what made me go to where I am now and work with the brands that you said. It's amazing, the type of clients we have. And I think it was all thanks to the team, really.
So clearly you love working with people, you seem to enjoy your work. What are some of the other characteristics of your leadership style?
Well, it's interesting when we talk about the leadership style and the leaders, and to me, first, I don't consider myself a leader, to be totally honest. But I know I have been inspired by many people in my career, and I can call them leaders if you want. So my style, or what I've seen in them, and I try to replicate, is one, always make sure that others are learning things in doing their work, or if it can be from you, even better. And second, they have fun. I mean, they do it in a way that they feel, they are progressing, they are developing, and they are having a good time while they are working. So that's probably my style, or the one I try to have, because that's what I've learned from other leaders I had working with me.
And you've mentioned learning, you've mentioned fun. What are some of your other values?
Remember at Tex 100, we had many values. I remember we had like 7 values at that time. When we merged with Byte and we created Archetype, we ended up having only 3 values. And they were kindness, ambition, and curiosity. And I felt those 3 values were so true to us, to the team in Spain and how I am. As I said at the beginning, the first one is kindness. Be always supportive with the person you have next to you, encouraging that person to do more things, go beyond what you thought was possible, would be maybe like the headline. So kindness is one. The other one is ambitious, but ambitious understood as I described it before, you can always do more things than what you think you can at the beginning. And the last one is curiosity, is trying to be always open for learning. So those 3 values, I think they are truly something to follow, as a company, as a leader, as a professional in your working life.
And you mentioned curiosity, and I'm curious as to what was a defining moment in your career?
Well, I think I've had to in my career, if I look back. One, and you just said in the intro, when I was 29 years old and I was told, listen, I give you the responsibility to become the managing consultant of the office at that time, I felt terrified. I thought that was not my thing. I didn't like the management of the business. What I really liked was the consultancy, and the people and the team. And I think I accepted it at that time because you told me that piece of advice saying, do what you like, what you are good at, and focus on your strength. Your strength is consultancy, and the rest will come. And that proved to be true. I mean, that's what I did. I focused on my team, I focused on my clients, and the numbers followed. So that was really a key moment in my career, obviously, and it worked, and I succeeded, thanks God. And the other one, it happened last year. I mean, when we had this pandemic and the lockdown, I think all of us thought it was just for 15 days. So I remember being in the office saying to the team, come on, guys, no worries. Take your laptop, it will be a question of a couple of weeks and we'll be back. And it has been a year. And it's amazing, during this year, all of us working from home, we've done many things, many different things that I don't know why it took a lockdown and being working at home to do them, to make them. So it really proved again some of the things we are talking now, that you can do more than what you think you can, that it's always a question of not being afraid and try. So yeah, those were two definitive moments in my career.
And you mentioned the whole pandemic situation, and obviously that's been a massive a setback for a lot of people. Have there been any other big challenges in your life that you've had to overcome?
Well, in my professional life, I think I remember 3 years ago, I think it was, that suddenly for different reasons, but we started to lose some clients and we had acquisitions. So some clients had to expire the contract with us and the relationship with us. And again, I think I followed that advice, that I started with when I became the managing consultant, and is let's have fun, let's give it a try, and really trust your team, focus on your team, and make sure that they do what they do better, and do not be afraid of failing. Let's see what happens. And it was amazing because that year we even grew the business. So that was probably the biggest challenge at my professional life that we had to overcome, and we did it trusting the team and thinking that as a group of people, you are always better than alone.
So it sounds from what you're saying as well that you've grown in confidence as your career has increased. What advice would you give to people who are sort of wondering, well, I'm perhaps stuck at a lower level in a company. How did Virginia get to go from being an intern to being the managing director before she was 30? What words of wisdom would you have for them?
Well, I don't know how I did it. I think maybe I was lucky. I don't know, but something that a piece of advice that I would give them is one, you're always better than what you think you are, and that has proven to be true in my life, at personal and professional life. Always, you think you can get to here, and then you realize you can go far beyond, and the other way as well. I mean, sometimes you feel you are terribly bad, and then you realize you could be worse. So things can always be better and worse than what you think they could possibly be. But if you think in the positive way, I remember when I started in the position at 29, it was you at that time, because I was so young, that you always push me to come on, give it a try. You can do it, believe me. So believing in you and what you think you can do is definitely something that you don't need to forget ever in your life. And the second piece of advice to them would be, do not be afraid of failing. That's totally fine. As long as you learn something from that mistake or from that fail, you will see that will help you, in your next step and in your next phase in your career. So yeah, that would be my two pieces of advice. Do not be afraid. You can always do more than what you think you can. And if you fail, learn something. That's the most important.